Dr. Ralph De La Torre. Dr. Ralph is the CEO of Steward Health Care, which operates a chain of hospitals around the country. And when I say operates, I'm using that term very loosely, because what De La Torre's company actually does is take over hospitals, run them into the ground by squeezing whatever wealth is still in them for himself and shareholders, and then declaring bankruptcy. It's made Dr. Ralph a ton of money since he took over back in 2010, but it's absolutely wreaked havoc on communities that depend on these hospitals for care. The problem with Steward Health Care's operation is you eventually run out of assets to cannibalize to fund your lavish lifestyle. And this year, Steward Health Care declared bankruptcy and is now trying to find buyers for its 30 decrepit hospitals. The collapse of Steward Health Care caught the attention of lawmakers and journalists who went on to uncover serious mismanagement. And this week, De La Torre dodged a Senate subpoena as part of an investigation into just how much he profited as the head of Steward. The Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee is running that probe. The committee's chair, Senator Bernie Sanders, went off on De La Torre in a statement that read, quote, "Perhaps more than anyone else in America, De La Torre is the poster child for the type of outrageous corporate greed that is permeating throughout our for-profit healthcare system. Working with private equity vultures, he became obscenely wealthy by loading up hospitals across the country with billions in debt and selling the land underneath these hospitals to real estate executives who charge unsustainably high rent. As a result, Steward Health Care and the more than 30 hospitals it owns in 8 states were forced to declare bankruptcy with some $9 billion in debt." Senators Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey called for the committee to file contempt charges against De La Torre. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, De La Torre was pocketing cash as Steward was collapsing. Quote, "While it was losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year, Steward paid at least $250 million to its chief executive officer, Dr. Ralph De La Torre, and to his other companies during the 4 years he was the hospital chain's majority owner." The Journal went on to describe De La Torre's lifestyle. He owns a 190-foot, $40 million yacht called Amaral, and a 90-foot, $15 million sport fishing boat called Yaruko. And he owns a more than 11,100 square foot Dallas mansion valued at $7.2 million by the county. His neighbors there include George W. Bush and Mark Cuban. He also owns a separate private ranch in Texas, and a company he's a majority owner of has 2 private jets valued at $95 million. And you know you've done some extremely egregious shit when you have a Republican senator on your ass. Here is Louisiana's Mark Cassidy during a hearing in July describing the conditions in Steward-owned hospitals as De La Torre was accumulating yachts.
Steward's financial troubles have seriously impacted its hospitals, threatening patients' access to life-saving care. Hospitals have had essential medical supplies repossessed by banks to pay off Steward's debts. Workers at its facilities have been laid off, leading to a reduction in outpatient services and an increased burden on the remaining staff. The facility in West Monroe is Glenwood Regional Medical Center. According to the reports from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, a physician at Glenwood in West Monroe told a Louisiana state inspector that the hospital was performing, quote, third world medicine. Because of management decisions resulting in limited resources at Glenwood, the state had to force the hospital to operate at 1/3 its capacity. One patient died waiting for a transfer to another hospital because Glenwood did not have the resources to treat. Unfortunately, Glenwood is not unique. At a Steward-owned Massachusetts hospital, a woman died after giving birth when doctors realized mid-surgery that the supplies needed to treat her had been repossessed due to Steward's financial troubles. And these examples are across Steward's hospitals.
So yeah, people are dying, literally dying as a result of Dr. Ralph De La Torre's greed. And as Senator Sanders argued, he's not the only healthcare capitalist involved in schemes like this. He's just the poster child for it. It's maddening that we let people like this into our healthcare system to feast off anything of value they can find. And when nothing is left in the US, they start looking elsewhere. Torre is also under investigation for corruption related to a hospital deal in the country of Malta. According to a whistleblower, he allegedly bragged that he could bribe Maltese officials with brown bags of cash. Malta, if you're listening, get as far away from this guy as you can, because Dr. Ralph De La Torre is this week's Rich Dick. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.